Hello, Jays Nation. Welcome back to your go-to channel, the Toronto Blue Jays News Network. Today, we have 3 jam-packed updates about our Blue Army, which happened and came to our notice just a few hours ago. So if you are a true Jays fan, you don't want to miss these updates. And yes, before we start the video, I request you, if you are new to the channel, then don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can stay in the loop. So let's dive right into our first major update. Update 1. Massive injury scare for Ricky Tiedemann. Is his time as a starter officially over? All right, let us dive right into our first massive story of the day. Spring training is supposed to be all about building momentum, and for a while, our highly touted pitching prospect Ricky Tiedemann was doing exactly that. He had even adjusted his slider grip to reduce strain on his arm and was looking incredibly sharp in live batting practice. But Jays fans, we are forced to hold our collective breath once again. It has been 10 days since the left-hander was completely shut down with left elbow soreness. Yes, unfortunately, it is the exact same elbow that required Tommy John surgery back in July of 2024. After only throwing 18 innings in 2024 to an earned run average of 5.19, he missed the rest of that year and the entirety of the 2025 season. Because of this missed time, he has now dropped to the number 5 slot in the 2026 Major League Baseball Pipeline Blue Jays prospect rankings. However, we do have a silver lining here. He underwent a magnetic resonance imaging scan that came back completely clean, revealing absolutely zero structural damage. Toronto Blue Jays manager John Schneider kept his update short but hopeful, stating, quote, "Hopefully in the next couple of days he should be back at it," unquote. But this latest scare is sparking a massive debate in the clubhouse and right here in Jays Nation. Should the front office finally transition Tedemann to the bullpen? The team has stubbornly been treating him like a starter, but given his colorful injury history, a shutdown reliever role might be exactly what both he and the team need. We all remember the heartbreak of last season. The 2025 Jays desperately lacked a true shutdown reliever, which ultimately cost us dearly in Game 7 of the World Series. Plus, our starting rotation is already absolutely stacked with Dylan Cease, Kevin Gausman, and the rapidly emerging Trey Yesavage. By permanently cutting his workload in half and moving him to the pen, the Jays could protect his arm and get maximum value out of his lethal mid to upper 90s fastball. Update 2. The recovery timeline revealed. What is next for our top prospect in 2026? Continuing right along with the Ricky Tiedemann situation, let us talk about his actual role and return timeline for this 2026 season. Sportsnet reporter Arden Zwelling noted that despite the clean magnetic resonance imaging, 10 days without throwing a baseball is certainly not nothing for a guy with his history. For a fan base that has been here before with this kid, John Schneider's quote lands somewhere between relief and cautious dread. The truth is, the Blue Jays were never expecting Tedemann on the opening day roster anyway. The starting rotation is already absolutely locked and loaded. With Dylan Cease and Kevin Gausman headlining, plus Trey Yesavage having earned his permanent spot after a strong debut late last season, there just was not room. Tedemann falls 8th in line on the starter depth chart in the most optimistic of interpretations. The original plan was to send him down to AAA Buffalo to start, build up his innings, and work toward a late-season bullpen role right here in Toronto. That path to the major leagues is definitely still there, but the elbow needs to cooperate first. What makes this injury so incredibly difficult for Jays fans to stomach is the history. It is the exact same elbow, the exact same anxiety, and the exact same waiting game. The talent has never been the question here. He possesses a lethal mid to upper 90s fastball and secondary stuff that keeps hitters entirely off balance. Staying healthy long enough to actually use it has always been the issue. If he gets back to throwing in the next couple of days without any brand new issues, this is just a minor bump in the road. But if it drags on, the questions are going to get louder and faster. The 2026 bullpen remains largely the same as last year, aside from the big addition of Tyler Rogers, so a healthy Tedemann stepping into that heavily built-out environment would be an absolute game-changer. Update 3. Eloy Jimenez is crushing it. Will he steal an opening day roster spot? Moving on to our final massive update for today, let us talk about a guy who is absolutely mashing the baseball right now. Toronto Blue Jays outfielder Eloy Jimenez has put on a seriously strong performance in camp, which puts him in an incredibly good position to earn a coveted spot on the opening day roster. The Blue Jays first signed the 29-year-old to a minor league deal back in August of 2025 before re-signing him in January, and he is actively proving that he could make a phenomenal bench piece for our squad. Listen to these spring numbers, Jays fans. The Dominican slugger is batting an unbelievable .391 with a home run, 9 hits, and an on-base plus slugging percentage of 1.069. What has stood out the absolute most is the raw power that he has unleashed. His exit velocity has been consistently topping over 100 miles per hour, which would provide the Blue Jays with some much-needed right-handed power. He hit a dynamite single off of Paul Blackburn that topped out at 104.7 miles per hour, truly showcasing how determined he is to make this roster. This is his massive chance to finally rebound after the brutal slumps he faced in 2024 and 2025, which were partly due to nagging injuries. Do not forget, from 2019 to 2023, Jimenez demonstrated remarkably reliable hitting skills with a weighted runs created plus of over 100. He also hit a whopping 89 home runs over that specific span. He is returning to his consistent form by making brilliant adjustments to his approach with the help of hitting coach David Popkins. Remember, Popkins did a stellar job of helping Dalton Varsho regain his form, putting him in a position to have a breakout season. And he also supported Nathan Lukes with making key adjustments. Another compelling aspect of Jimenez's game that has shown noticeable improvement is his launch angle. He has shown way more consistency with driving the ball upward, leading to much more explosive power, which was sadly missing during his struggles. However, he will have to continue to impress if he wants a roster spot, as the Blue Jays already have several capable outfielders. He will be fiercely fighting for a bench role with recently acquired Jesus Sanchez, Nathan Lukes, and Davis Schneider. When it comes strictly to the outfield, Lukes and Sanchez are definitely stronger defensively. Unfortunately for the Blue Jays, Jimenez has been known as a bit of a defensive liability in the outfield, having posted a career -18 outs above average. But he offers great depth to the roster as a designated hitter and outfielder. At the end of the day, he would massively help fill the void of right-handed power on the bench if he can just avoid landing on the injury list. All right, Jays Nation, that wraps up our 3 massive updates for today. What do you guys think? Should the Jays finally move Ricky Tiedemann to the bullpen full-time to protect his arm? And does Eloy Jimenez deserve that final spot on the opening day roster? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Toronto Blue Jays News Network. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date on all the latest news, rumors, and highlights, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, let's go Blue Jays.